What's a tip that's NSFW but can save your life? Just remember the ABCs. Capital A. Bone. Coming out the skin is very bad. If your tea looks like coffee grounds and is pitch black, it's not poop, it's old blood. I had internal bleeding. I found out after talking to my brother who is a medic in the army on the phone, and I joked about my tea. Ended up having a fun hospital visit. Turned out to be fine, but it was a scare. Edit. Just to clarify, it wasn't once. I tea like 4 times that day, all pitch black coffee grounds. Just because your poop is black doesn't mean you are dying. You know what you ate and how it affects your bowels more than I do. If someone is trying to smother you with a pillow, stay very calm. Don't fight it, and turn your head to the left or right. Most smothering deaths are due to the panic rather than an actual loss of air. If you have a bat for self-defense, put a sock on it. If the intruder grabs the bat, you yank the bat away. So they will only have the sock. But it only works once. Edit. Thank for my first gold and the other awards. Edit to you. I know a gun is better, but not everyone has access to or comfort with a gun. Also 24 to 26 inches is probably best for a house. If you get stabbed with, or impaled on, something sharp and the item stays in you, don't try and remove the item, no matter how instinctively appealing it might be to try and remove it. The item remaining inside you will increase your chances of reducing blood loss, not developing shock, and staying alive. Be gentle with your own or other people's assholes. If you go to any hotel, no matter how clean the floor and bedding might be, do not sit naked on those chairs in the corner or at the desk. Don't even duck on EM. They are the dirtiest part of the room. If you ever find yourself plunging into water from a high place, straighten out your body, lean back slightly, and close your asshole with all your strength. Condoms can hold up to 3 liters of water if necessary. How much water can they hold if it's not necessary? You better believe it's preferable for a doctor to laugh at the lump on your balls that is nothing instead of getting testicular cancer. Don't keep heavy items up on the headboard, like boomboxes. No boomboxes on the headboard. Concussions are not something to joke about. This man was concussed. Flared bases. People. Flared bases. My mother is a nurse and once had to look after a guy whose friends stuck a vibrator up his ass on his stag do as a prank. His ass sucked the toy inside him where it proceeded to vibrate and bounce around his insides, causing a ruptured bowel as well as a number of other problems. A ruptured bowel can kill you. This guy was lucky. While his situation was particularly extreme and illustrated the need to choose your friends carefully, this can happen to anyone who is using the wrong toy or the right toy incorrectly. An LSX toy should have a base that is flared past the widest point of the main body of the toy. Hell, this doesn't even have to just refer to SX and or SX toys. Always be safe and use the right tool for the particular job. If a guy had an accident and gets an erection, don't move him. Always PSS after SX. My ex got a brutal kidney infection from not doing this. People are not mentally prepared to fight a naked man or woman. Patrice O'Neal was diagnosed with diabetes after he was pissing in his girl's mouth and she said it tasted like birthday cake. So if you're into that, keep a lookout. Guys, after having an LSX, PSS and wash, else you can get a nasty UTI or prostate infection. If you go down on someone, male or female, and it's really salty, that person might have kidney problems. When kidneys stop functioning properly, the electrolytes start exiting the body via the skin, instead of being peed out. You could also lick their shoulder. Grinning face with squinting eyes. Edit. Thanks everyone for the awards. And the laughs. I'm looking at you, Brownie Red. Literally spent the last 5 hours reading comments and laughing. So, again, thank you. If you're a man and you pee on a pregnancy test and it comes up positive, Go to the doctor and get an screening ASAP for testicular cancer. There's a hormone in testicular cancer similar to when someone pregnant pees on a pregnancy test. I saw this somewhere else and I hope to get the word around. Hope this helps. If you are ever the victim of a chlorine gas attack, pee into a towel or handkerchief or something that will retain the urine and use it to cover your mouth, nose and eyes while you search for an exit. The urea in the urine will neutralize the chlorine gas, rendering it inert, giving you time to save your own life. This better be true, because if a chlorine gas attack ever occurs and I'm caught peeing into a rag. If you have an anaphylactic allergy to a food or a medication, it absolutely can be passed through semen or vaginal fluid. If your partner is on a medication you are allergic to or has eaten the food you are allergic to, it is best to use a barrier method until at least 72 hours after the last ingestion. Going into anaphylaxis through your genitals is horrible. If your partner asks for no condom, assume all their previous encounters has been without protection. STD are no joke. Also, if something looks or smell weird, go away. Teach your young children to curse if they are being kidnapped or attacked. Kids scream help all the time when playing. They also joke about people not being their mum. They even yell fire, sometimes. But if I hear a 6-year-old start screaming duck off you duck-oing cocksucker, you're not my duck-oing father while being carried off, I'm totally gonna look and intercept. Pee after sex. The both of you. It's not SZI, but it will reduce your chances of a UT. Especially if y'all did an L and the top didn't wear a condom. That woolly has gotta get flushed out. Make people as uncomfortable as possible. The weirder you act, the more you trigger the instinctive response in others to stay away from you. Obviously this won't work every time, but I've had people challenge me to fights and then back down just because I made them overtly uncomfortable by acting out of turn. For guys and anyone that might be a caregiver for older men or someone unable to care for themselves fully, it is unfortunate, but you need to clean the foreskin if you're helping someone care for themselves. A huge issue in elderly men going into long-term care is infections with their foreskin. I get it. I didn't enjoy cleaning my mother and she was pretty mad about it too when she was no longer able to do it herself, but if they can't do it, you have to. If you say to yourself, oh man, another bowl full of blood when you pee, you might need to see a ducking doctor. Source: worked with someone who said that at the urinal once. If your LSD tastes bitter, spit it out unless you want to try some unknown chemical. Don't squat on your spurs. Condoms can work wonderfully as one-way valves to help treat sucking chest wounds in emergency situations. If you're being attacked, even if it's not life or death, fight like it is. Stick your fingers in their eyes. Hit them in the throat or groin. Pull skin, cheeks, ears, whatever. Fight like you're refusing to become a victim. You might not win, but you will scare the attacker. Don't stop until they run off or you're too beaten to defend yourself. Absolutely go APST on them. Also, if you're ever being forced, even at gunpoint, into a trunk, fight and scream. You may die, but if you get in that trunk you absolutely will die. If you are forced in, pull the trunk release put into all trunks in the last decade or so. Punch a light out and wave at cars behind them. Do whatever you can to protect yourself. Do not be afraid to release your inner animal. It's you them and you choose you. If you ever go to a hotel room in a seedy part of town for any reason whatsoever, check under the bed. No, nothing has happened. But if you follow my advice, nothing will ever happen. I worked in a seedy hotel. One time a little person checked in for a few days, but he wasn't there at checkout, so we just assumed he left. Another guest checked in, stayed for a few days and checked out. The housekeeper was cleaning the room and found lil dude hiding under the sink. Peeing after sex, especially for women due to their shorter urethra, but men should too. It cleans out the pipes, so to speak. This is to prevent urinary tract infections. UTIs are serious and at the very least both men and women should pee as soon as possible after sex. Edit. UTIs are common and can indeed be fatal and or cause complications. By the way, as a guy who got a UTI, there really aren't any good fast-acting over-the-counter options out there that I know of. I had to get a shot in my ass from the doctor. If you fill a condom up with water, you can use it like a magnifying glass to start a fire. Don't remove a knife from a wound if you get stabbed. This counts for glass too. If you remove it, the bleeding will increase. 5 pounds of pressure to rip an ear off. 7 pounds of pressure to rip testicles off. Just grab and pull downward. Humans are way stronger than our brains allow us to realize. That's why most people aren't just ripping off their own body parts. Friend of mine was RP'd and did serious damage to the attacker's balls by doing this. No more than he deserved. He was bleeding profusely and crying when the police showed up. They called it self-defense. If you are allergic to nuts, make sure that the guy did not eat any Brazil nuts at all for the past 24 hours. I think before any sexual activities. Brazil nuts can reside in semen and thus triggering your allergy. TLDR. You can die from a nut allergy by swallowing. Edit. The condition is called anaphylaxis. A life-threatening reaction can occur within seconds or minutes. Edit 2. My top-rated comment is now about a possible death by swallowing a nut. Thanks. Also thanks, kind stranger, for the silver. Sir, is there nut in your nut? I read this story on Reddit where a girl was choking on some food, but thanks to some deep-throating techniques she knew. Can confirm it works. With extremely rare exception, restaurant industry employees have left the chat. Check your boobs for any weird changes or lumps regularly. Edit. Sorry, I meant to write boobs. For chest compressions, you want to have as little clothing as possible between you and the person you're helping, but a t-shirt in the way won't hurt. However, always mentally prepare yourself for undressing an unconscious accident heart attack victim. Yes, it might be a woman person with boobs. It might be an elderly woman person with boobs. If a need pad, defibrillator, is available, use it. It can save a life. But you can only use it on bare skin, and it means everything must go. Coats, shirts, and bras. It's often in public and there might even be people filming with their phones. In general, women are less likely to receive proper CPR, as bystanders fear sexual harassment accusations. It's terrifying, paralyzing, and tragic. So mentally prepare yourself to bear, see, and touch another person's chest. Don't give a blowjob with a menthol cough drop in your mouth. Unless it's a spiteful blowjob and you want them to be in severe pain. Then do it. Don't get ducked by a horse, donkey, or any animal for that matter, as their large member can puncture your internal organs. For reference, Google Mr. Hands or the Enumclaw horse incident. Google Mr. Hands or the Enumclaw horse incident. No, I don't think I will. If someone is attacking or paying you, grab their ear and pull it hard. Ears aren't very strongly attached to the body. Even a 5-year-old has the strength to pull off an ear. The pain should stop the attack, and if they run away you have their ear, and so it will be easy to find the culprit. Also, ears curl up when removed from the body, so you can easily store it in your purse wallet. Edit. This information was given to me by my mother after she went on a self-defense course. They gave her a hard plastic tube with a sharp X on the flat base to leave a X mark on the attacker when you hit them with it. If you PSS and ST aggressively when someone tries to attack you, it's self-defense. If you want to avoid a fist fight, undress completely. It has been shown to defuse the situation immediately. YouTube has ample evidence of these. My mum always told me when I was little that if I ever get stolen by a man, that the easiest way to escape is to scream as loud as I can, shove my fingers in their eyes and kick them as hard as I can in the balls, then run like hell. Edit for those asking about women kidnappings. Although they do happen, my mum didn't really see that as a threat. I was always told that if I was lost then I should try to find a kind looking woman with children and ask her for help. There was a lot of assumptions occurring from this advice, but unfortunately 9/10 it will help in an emergency situation. Don't. And I mean do not cut jalapenos and go to scratch down there before a thorough washing of your hands. If you go into a severe hypoglycemic situation, stick sugar up your ass. It gets absorbed much faster. Edit. Because some people took that seriously. It's mostly tongue-in-cheek. While glucose is absorbed faster in the colon, it's usually metabolized there and the blood concentration is not consistently high. Plus using your gums and under the tongue is easier. Hey man, you're looking a little pale. Holy shit, Frank. What the hell? If your poop is red, maroon, or dark black like coffee grounds, it could mean you've got internal bleeding. Get to a hospital immediately. Don't kiss the homies goodnight without consent. Not life-saving, but use a condom. Firefighter in training here. Girls take their bras off if they're in a room that is rapidly heating up. The wire, yes guys, there's a wire, will heat up and sear through your chest. Hope you will never have to do it. Don't answer doors with people you don't know. That a promise? When in doubt, jack off first. There is real scientific evidence as to why this is the case. During orgasm, most of a male's brain shuts down. Post-nut clarity is literally, did you try turning it off and then on again? Flared bases. People. Squeeze your titties. Every day. Push your fingers in all over. Cushion on your nips to check for lumps underneath. Edit. Don't forget to check above and around your titties. Titty tissue goes up your chest below your clavicle, all the way out towards your armpits. If you're having a panic attack, yank one out. A friend of a friend is not necessarily your friend, and they could be a rapist. Just for your information. So seriously, always get your own drink from the bar and hold it the whole time. If someone offers to buy you a drink, you better witness that whole drink being made by the bartender, then hand it off directly to you. Otherwise, NAHH. Edit. Thank you kind internet stranger for the award. When assisting, never put your face in the picture, even if it is your so. Just never. Don't try to suck your own DCK. I'm calling the cops lol. If your one night stand partner says you don't need to use a condom, you definitely need to use a condom. Unionize. Your employer may not be happy about it. Don't put your DCK in crazy. Bras are able to be used as a gas mask. If your house is on fire or there's a gas leak, use a bra. If you're on your way down to perform oral on a chick and realize too late that the smell is going to kill you, but you've already committed and backing out is going to be a problem, all isn't lost. Spread your fingers wide like you're throwing the peace sign to a hippie. Slide your thumb into the vagina. Press your palm firmly over it, sealing the unpleasant odor in. Now you can lick her clit between your peace sign fingers with no odor. Duck politeness. If something makes you feel uncomfortable or weird, don't go along with it because you don't want to seem rude. Edit. I learned this saying from a great podcast. My favorite murder. Avoid the clap. Jimmy Duggan 1945. If it smells funky and is already wet, be careful. You may be subject to contracting the clap. Don't do it. If you're good at deep throating, some throat movements that you can do may actually be able to dislodge a foreign object if you're choking on something. So at university there was a safety poster that said if you are female and about to be the victim of RP, vomiting can stop it from happening. It would appear a lot of people have a very negative reaction to vomit and males can struggle to get hard after witnessing it. I guess you want to sort of vomit at the person, but not on them, as I assume this would enrage them and perhaps put you in more danger of physical violence. if that is possible. However, if is a good way to leave physical evidence on a person. If you're in a gym locker room and another patron has a weird lump they might be able to see, don't be afraid to say something. If they don't know about it already, it might be something serious. If you're ever in the wild with no access to clean water, you can collect some in a suitable container such as an empty bottle and pour the water directly into your anus. Your colon will filter out any bacteria, microbes and buy you extra time before you succumb to dehydration. Rogue play shibari is one of the biggest edge play. Permanent injury by people who learn ties online is common. It's pretty until you have no use of your hands. Know how to keep yourself safe as a rogue bottom. Never ever do pick up play or drink do substances and do rogue. If you are uncircumcised and are falling from a large height, open up your foreskin and use it like an umbrella. Is that a bird? A plane? Oh, it's foreskin man. Go to the doc ASAP. That's how my ex's testicular cancer started. A sharp pain in one testicle for a few days. It is the only cancer that can have a 100% cure rate. He is years cured now, but he waited so long to see the doctor that he had stage 3, and there is no stage 4. For your information, there is not necessarily a bump to indicate. If you get very frequent and serious UTIs, make an appointment to see a urologist. I suffered for years before learning I had a tumor in my bladder. Women cannot overpower men. There are exceptions, but you aren't one of them. Stun and run. Eyes, nuts, throat. There is no playing fair when you're being attacked. If you introduce an implement, be prepared to be one-upped, or have it used against you. Wear a condom. A condom can be put in a sock and used as a water bottle in an emergency. Socks stops it from expanding and popping. Condoms can actually be really useful in emergencies, like tying stuff, carrying, etc. I saw a video but can't remember for the life of me what they can all be used for. Don't duck a coconut. Always use protection. Always. Hep B and C can cost $0.00090 to cure out of pocket. And most insurances won't help if I'm correct. They will kill you or completely duck up your liver. HIV is lifelong and will kill you even while medicated, though it will take many years longer while medicated. Medication will keep you in the poorhouse dependent on others. There is no cure that's not extremely rare or life-threatening. Herpes is not that bad. It's not severe but is lifelong, and the stigma to STDs will affect your self-esteem greatly in the beginning. Chlamydia and gonorrhea can disseminate and duck you up long term, including make you infertile. None of these are things to mess around with. Edit. Also, get tested regularly. You can have an STD and have no symptoms. If they say you don't need a condom, you need a condom. Supposedly, if you think you are having a heart attack, you can save your own life by continually coughing as hard as you can. Like you're choking on a fat cock. Until you get to help. Call 911 immediately. Edit. I really just wanted to start a discussion about choking on fat cock. I liked how you had to add the fat cock part in there for the sake of keeping it NSFW. Not sure if it counts as NSFW, but if a guy person with a penis pees on a pregnancy test and get a positive result, it means that you might have testicular cancer. Don't know if this is NSFW, but if you have something removed, always get it tested. True story. My mum 20 years ago had moles rubbing her bra and she asked for a doctor to remove them. He said they were perfectly normal and shouldn't be tested. We didn't have health insurance and are very poor. My mum insisted on it, just in case. The doctor called her the next day. Apparently she had one of the worst non-diagnosed cases of melanoma he had ever seen. She never heard him freaked out before. He was big time freaking out. I was tested a few weeks later. Diagnosed also.